Hello guys! This is my last video for the food processing. I hope you like it. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you!
This is your teacher, Mrs. Arlene A. Valenzuela. Here is our another edition of Telection. Para makasunod kayo sa ating lesson, pakikuha muna ang inyong learning module sa food processing. Our topic is calculating data on raw materials or ingredients consumption, corresponding percentage equivalent in line with enterprise requirement. Sounds difficult? Don't worry because I'll make this lesson simpler for you. Data gathering on raw materials and ingredients is necessary in order to compare and calculate production input and output of the finished product. The following are examples of data that are gathered based on the products to be done. Here are the 5 examples of processed foods. So we have pickled mixed vegetables for number 1. Number 2, we have smoked fish. Number 3 is mango jam. Number 4 is fermented fish. And number 5 is pickled fish. The data given here are the ingredients of these 5 processed foods and their corresponding weights. So napakahalaga sa data gathering ang pagkuha ng mga ingredients na kailangan mo sa processed food na iyong gagawin at ang kanilang mga timbang. Data gathering is very important to consider to know the selling cost or price of our product. During the production of processed food, there are things that should be given attention because they may affect our outputs. Let us have actual spoilage or rejects. Actual spoilage, rejects, and their corresponding percentage depend on the product to be made. For example, in mango jam, spoilage refers to the peel of mango and seeds. The products left during packing are not classified as spoilage rejects. However, in pickled fish, the skin of the calamansi, garlic, and the internal organs of the fish are included in the spoilage. Ibig sabihin ng spoilage rejects ay ang mga bahagi na itinatapon na o hindi isinasama sa pagpoproseso ng pagkain. Sa mango jam, hindi isinasama ang balat at buto ng mangga. Sa pickled fish naman, hindi isinasama ang lamang loob ng isda. In smoked fish or tinapa, the internal organs is the reject. Lastly, in fermented fish and other fishery products, small seashell, small stone, and seaweeds are the spoilage. Ang kabuoang timbang ng mga sangkap ng pinoprosesong pagkain ay hindi lahat nasasama dahil meron itong mga spoilage rejects o mga bahagi ng sangkap na hindi isinasama o itinatapon na lamang. Determining the spoilage rejects is very important in knowing the actual yield and recoveries. This actual yield and recoveries corresponds with computation. Let's find this out. When we say yield, yield refers to the number of finished products after computing the production output and input. Here is the formula. Percentage yield is equal to production input divided by production output times 100. Let us have this example. Again, our formula for percentage yield is production input divided by production output times 100. So our production input is 200 divided by production output, which is 250 times 100 is 0.8 times 100 is equivalent to 80%. So our percentage yield is 80% in this given example. Why is there a need to know the percentage yield in food production? It tells you several things. The first one is how much usable products you will have after processing, how much raw product to actually order, and actual cost of the raw product spent per peso. Here is our next stop. It's about records calculated data. Report records based on the data gathered are computed on production output, input, actual spoilage, rejects, actual yields, or recoveries are kept for documentation purposes. This documentation will be the basis for determining the progress of whatever production to be done on process. Now let us see the importance of recording and documenting production input. Number one, it gives us a reference data on the materials used together with their correct magnitude. Number two, it determines the economic viability of the product. Number three, records serve as a basis for planning. And lastly, which is the most important, is that records greatly help in making right decisions. Steps in recording and documenting production input are as follows. First, weigh all materials and ingredients needed. Second, make a necessary listing in your notebook of all the materials and ingredients used. It is important to note how much or how many. This is what we call recording or documentation. Third, follow the correct format in documenting and recording. This is one of the correct formats in recording and documenting data. In this format, the first thing you will write is the product's name. So for example, pickled and or marinated milk fish. Then you will write the production date. That is very important. Then, description of materials. So for example, fresh milk fish. Opposite it is you will write its weight. Next, listed are the other ingredients needed for the pickled marinated milk fish and their corresponding weights. And the total input is 1,680 grams. So again, input is the actual amount of ingredients needed for the product. Next, output. For marinated milkfish, the output is 1,200 grams. The marinade will be disposed, that's why the production output is less than the production input. Wastage is 480 grams. This is the marinade disposed. Our percentage yield is 71%. Our problem encountered is none. This time, let us have the sample of production cost. For this, our product is pickled mixed vegetables. First, you're going to write the raw materials and ingredients. The names, their quantities, their weights, and their corresponding costs. Our total cost for our raw materials and ingredients is 202 pesos. For our next expenses is packaging materials. We have preserving jars and label for a total of 48 pesos. Lastly, our overhead expenditures. We have LPG, fuel for cooking, transportation, and water. Total is 19 pesos. So the grand total of our expenses is 269 pesos. Next, we have Roman number 4, number of finished products. We have 8 jars of pickled mixed vegetables. Roman number 5 is net weight. It's 250 grams. Roman number 6 is markup price, 20% of the grand total. That is 53.80. And the selling price per jar is 40.35. For you to understand this better, let us have the next slides. The total expenses for the 8 jars of pickled vegetables is 269 pesos. Next, so again our total expenses is 269. We will multiply it with markup percentage, which is 20%. So that's 0.2. This will be equivalent to markup, and that is 53.8. To get the selling price of all the 12 jars of the pickled vegetables, let us have 269, our total expenses, plus our markup price is 53.8, is equivalent to 322.8. And lastly, to get the selling price per jar of the pickled vegetable, we have the selling price of all the 8 jars, which is 322.8, divided by 8 for the 8 jars is equivalent to 40.35 pesos. So again, our selling price per jar of our pickled vegetables is 40.35 pesos. I hope you understood our lesson. So now, kindly get your activity sheet for week 4. Let us have task number 2. You're going to fill in the blank to make the statement correct. You're going to choose your answer in the box. You will write your answer on the space provided for you. For task number 3, you are going to decode the words using this figure below. These words play important role in our lesson. The next slide will teach you how to decode the words. Let us have this given example. So, 148429. What is this word? Let us decode this. Again, 148429. Let us use our decoder. Number 1, the letters corresponding to number 1 are UMG. Number 4, we have ALF. For number 8, we have TR. Number 4, again, we have ALF. Number 2, we have IZ. And number 9, we have C and K. Then look for the possible word or the word you can form out of these letters decoded. So the word is garlic. Task number 6 is a performance task. You are going to prepare a production report following the given format. You can ask the help of your parents, guardian, or siblings, or even those who can give you information on how to make pork longanisa. Task number 8 is copy and complete the data below. You are going to identify what is being described in the following statement. You will write your answer on the given space. And finally, your reflection. You're going to write what you understood and what you realized. Sana ay nakatulong ako sa pag-unawa niyo sa lesson natin ngayong Week 4 ng Food Processing. That's all for now. See you soon mga ka-teleksyon. Again, this is your teacher, Mrs. Arlene A. Valenzuela.